It doesn't matter when you're watching this. What matters is that you are watching this right now. That means you're searching for something. You're hungry. You're ready for change. Let me tell you this, your life doesn't change by chance. It changes by choice. Every day you wake up, you're faced with two options: stay the same or evolve. Stay comfortable or get uncomfortable and grow. Which one are you choosing? Success is not magic. Confidence isn't built overnight. Discipline isn't handed to you. It's earned in the dark, when no one's watching. When you're tired, when you're stressed, when quitting seems easier than continuing. That's when character is made. Change doesn't just happen. It's not some mysterious force that strikes you like lightning while you're waiting around. It begins the moment you decide that enough is enough. The moment you stop blaming your circumstances, your past, other people, or bad luck. Real change starts when you take full ownership of your life, your actions, your mindset, and your future. Every single day, you are faced with hundreds of choices. Some seem small: what time you wake up, what you eat, whether you hit snooze or hit the gym. Others feel bigger: choosing to leave a toxic environment, to invest in yourself, to walk away from comfort and chase something better. But here's the truth. It's not the size of the choice that matters. It's the direction it takes you. Do you want to stay the same, or do you want to grow? Do you want to keep telling the same story, living the same cycles, or are you ready to break the pattern and start a new chapter? Change isn't something that just happens to lucky people. It's something you create through deliberate, often uncomfortable decisions. And those decisions start now. When you look at successful people, people who inspire you, who seem unstoppable, it's not luck that got them there. It's the result of consistent, conscious choices that they made when it would have been easier to settle. They chose discipline over distraction, growth over comfort, long-term vision over short-term pleasure. And guess what? That power lives in you too, right now. It doesn't matter where you came from or what mistakes you've made. What matters is what you do next, because every choice is a vote for the person you're becoming. Comfort is the silent killer of potential. It's cozy, it's familiar, and it's safe, but it's also where dreams go to die. Growth doesn't happen when you're doing what's easy. It happens when you challenge yourself, when you push your limits, and when you lean into the discomfort instead of running from it. The comfort zone is seductive. It tells you that you're fine where you are, that you can do it later, that you don't need to push so hard. But if you keep listening to that voice, years can pass without you even realizing how much time you've lost. And one day you wake up wondering why nothing's changed, why you're stuck in the same spot, thinking the same thoughts, feeling the same frustrations. Here's the hard truth. If you want different results, you have to do things you've never done. You have to risk failing. You have to feel awkward. You have to face fear, rejection, doubt, and sometimes even loneliness. That's not a sign that you're doing something wrong. That's a sign that you're stepping into growth. Think about it. A muscle doesn't grow unless it's torn a little. The same goes for your mindset, your habits, your confidence. They only expand when you stretch beyond what's comfortable. You have to choose challenge over ease. You have to be willing to show up when it's hard, when it's messy, when you're scared. That's the edge of your comfort zone. And that's where the magic begins. The most powerful transformations happen when you're willing to feel uncomfortable and keep going anyway. When you stop letting fear of the unknown control you. When you understand that failure is not your enemy, it's your teacher. Every uncomfortable moment is a training ground for the stronger, wiser version of you that you're becoming. So the next time you feel resistance, the next time you're tempted to play it safe, pause. Recognize that feeling as an invitation, a doorway, a signal that you're on the verge of growth. Discipline isn't loud. It's not flashy, and it doesn't get applause. It's built in the quiet hours when no one's watching, when there's no crowd, no recognition, and no immediate reward. It's built in the early mornings, the late nights, and the in-between moments where most people choose comfort, and you choose commitment. The truth is, anyone can act motivated when they're fired up. Anyone can put in work when it's exciting, when people are cheering, or when the mood feels right. But discipline kicks in when the motivation runs out, when you don't feel like doing it, but you do it anyway because you know who you're trying to become. That's what separates people who achieve greatness from those who settle the ability to show up, especially when it's inconvenient, to keep the promise you made to yourself long after the mood you made it in is gone. Discipline is choosing to train when you're tired. It's studying when your friends are out. It's sticking to your plan when distractions are screaming for your attention. And more than that, it's doing it again tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that, whether it's glamorous or not. Most of the progress you make in life won't come from massive public wins. It'll come from repeating small, quiet actions that no one else sees. The workouts you don't post, the hours of practice with no audience, the sacrifices no one claps for. That's where the real strength is built. That's where the gap between average and exceptional is created. When you're alone and it's cold and your mind is telling you to quit, that's the moment you train your will. That's when you prove to yourself that you're not just interested in change. You're committed to it. So stop waiting for the perfect moment or the right feeling. Discipline isn't about feeling ready. It's about being relentless. Perfection is a myth. It's a trap. It keeps you stuck, overthinking, second-guessing, and ultimately doing nothing. But consistency, showing up again and again, even when it's not perfect, that's what creates real progress. That's what changes your life. You don't have to have the perfect plan, the perfect timing, or the perfect execution. You just need to keep moving, keep improving, keep showing up for yourself, even on the days when you feel off, unmotivated, or unsure. Because success is not about having flawless moments. It's about building unstoppable momentum. Think about it. One perfect workout won't get you in shape. One perfectly healthy meal won't transform your body. One productive day won't change your career. But string together hundreds of imperfect, but intentional efforts. That's where transformation happens. That's when your habits begin to shift. That's when your identity starts to evolve. Consistency is powerful because it creates evidence. Every time you follow through, no matter how small, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. You're proving to yourself that you can be disciplined, resilient, and trustworthy. Even if you mess up one day, it's not the end, because you've already built the habit of getting back up. The problem with chasing perfection is that it tricks you into thinking if you can't do it exactly right, it's not worth doing at all. But that's not how growth works. Real growth is messy. It's full of trial and error. It's built on learning, adjusting, and repeating. It's about falling down 7 times and standing up 8. So stop waiting for the stars to align. Stop telling yourself you'll start when things calm down, when you're more motivated, or when everything feels just right. That's not how progress works. What matters is that you show up today, tomorrow, and the next day, and keep doing the best you can with what you have. Every decision you make, every habit you repeat, every thought you entertain, it's all shaping someone. That someone is you. Whether you're conscious of it or not, you are in a constant state of becoming. The question is, who are you becoming? Are your actions today aligning with the future you say you want? Or are you drifting further away from it, one unconscious choice at a time? Most people live on autopilot. They wake up, go through their routines, repeat the same patterns, and wonder why nothing changes. But here's the truth. Your habits are your future in disguise. If you want to meet a better version of yourself 6 months from now, it starts with the things you do today. right now. Imagine the person you want to become: stronger, wiser, more confident, more fulfilled. What would they do differently? How would they think? How would they handle pressure, setbacks, or opportunities? Now ask yourself, are your daily choices leading you toward that person, or are they slowly building someone you won't even recognize, someone you'll regret? The beauty is, you don't have to change everything overnight. You just need to become intentional. Because every small act, waking up earlier, reading instead of scrolling, speaking kindly to yourself, doing that extra rep, keeping that one promise, it all adds up. These small wins, when stacked over time, create identity shifts. And those shifts become permanent when they're practiced consistently. It's not about being perfect. It's about being aligned. When your actions reflect your values and your values reflect your vision, that's when you begin to live with purpose. That's when life starts to feel right. And it's not just about achievement. It's about integrity. It's about being the kind of person you respect when no one else is around. So pay attention, not just to what you want, but to who you're becoming on the way to it. Because whether you realize it or not, your future self is being built today in your habits, your thoughts, your energy, and your effort. Too often, we convince ourselves that we need something else before we can begin. More knowledge, more time, more confidence, a mentor, a sign, a perfect moment. But the truth is, you already have everything you need to take the first step. You may not have everything figured out, but what you do have is enough to start building. You have the ability to learn, the strength to endure, the power to choose differently. You have a mind that can think, a body that can act, and a heart that knows when something feels right. These are the core tools of transformation, and they've been with you all along. We're conditioned to believe we're missing something. Social media constantly tells us that we need a new system, a new routine, a new mindset, a new strategy. And while growth and learning are essential, the biggest breakthroughs don't come from buying the next best thing. They come from realizing what you're already capable of if you just trusted yourself enough to begin. Think of all the times you've already survived hard things. Think of the battles you didn't think you could win, but did. Think of the moments where you wanted to quit, but kept going anyway. Those were not accidents. That was you. That was your resilience, your fire, your grit. And it's still in you. The world will always try to sell you the idea that you're not ready, that you're not enough yet. But readiness isn't a moment. It's a decision. You become ready by starting. You become prepared by doing. You become strong by taking the hits and standing back up. You are not waiting on the right resources. The right resources are waiting on you. Everything external, the tools, the support, the opportunities, they can help, sure. But they're amplifiers, not necessities. The real power has always been internal. Your mindset, your will, your belief, your effort. So stop looking around for the missing piece. You are the piece. You are the spark. And once you recognize that the answers are already within you, the entire game changes. No matter how yesterday looked, whether it was filled with failure, frustration, or falling short, today is a clean slate. Every single morning you open your eyes is another opportunity to rewrite the story you're telling yourself. And the most powerful truth is this: you are never stuck unless you decide to stay stuck. It's easy to carry the weight of the past, to replay the mistakes, to regret what you didn't do, to drown in what ifs and if onlys. But none of that will move you forward. What will? Owning the present moment, accepting that while you can't change yesterday, you can absolutely shape today, and that changes everything. You don't need permission to begin again. You don't need to wait until Monday or the first of the month or the beginning of the year. The calendar doesn't dictate your transformation. Your mindset does. Any moment you decide to rise up, to recommit, to take one small action in a new direction, that's a new beginning. Don't underestimate how powerful that is, because momentum doesn't start with huge, dramatic changes. It starts with a single, intentional step forward. A decision to no longer be defined by what went wrong, but to be driven by what could go right. Even the most successful, disciplined, confident people mess up. They slip, they fall. But they've trained themselves to reset quickly, to not let one bad day turn into a bad week, or a bad week into a wasted month. That skill, the ability to start fresh, is what keeps them growing. Forgive yourself for the missteps. Learn from them, yes, but don't live in them. Let them fuel your fire, not your fear. You don't need a perfect past to build an amazing future. What you need is the courage to meet today with intention, focus, and hope. There comes a moment in your life when you have to stop waiting. Stop waiting for the right time, the perfect plan, the right mindset, or someone to push you. That moment is now. This is your time. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when things feel easier. Now. Because the truth is, there will never be a moment that feels perfectly convenient to grow. You have to take ownership of the one you have. You've spent enough time preparing, enough time doubting, enough time rehearsing your potential in your head. The world doesn't need a version of you that's constantly getting ready. The world needs the version of you that's doing the work, showing up, and choosing to step into the arena, even if your hands are shaking. You don't need more signs. You are the sign. You've come this far. You've been through pain, through struggle, through storms that could have broken you, but you're still standing. And not just standing, you're still reaching. That alone means you're ready. That alone proves that something in you refuses to settle. And maybe life didn't give you the easiest path. Maybe you've been overlooked, doubted, counted out. Good. Use it. Let it fuel you. Let it remind you that nothing is promised. But everything is possible when you claim your time and take your shot. There is no magic switch. You won't suddenly wake up one day fearless, full of energy, or overflowing with confidence. You build that by choosing to act in spite of fear, in spite of doubt, and in spite of uncertainty. Because confidence doesn't come from waiting, it comes from doing. Progress doesn't come from wishing, it comes from moving. Every second you spend comparing, hesitating, or delaying is time you could be investing in your future, in your purpose, in your becoming. The clock is ticking either way. The question is whether you're wasting time or owning it, because no one is going to hand you your moment. You have to take it. You have to rise to it. You have to claim it like it already belongs to you. Because deep down, it does. Change doesn't come from waiting. It doesn't come from luck. It comes from you, your choices, your discipline, your courage to step outside what's easy and do what's necessary. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to take the next step. Every day you watch this. Every day you remind yourself who you're becoming. Every day you choose to rise, you rewrite your story. So let this be your wake-up call, your fuel, your fire. Watch this every day if you have to, not because you're broken, but because you're becoming, because you refuse to settle, because deep down, you know you're built for more. This is your life, this is your shot, and this is your time.